damn, your voice sounds sexy. You sexy man, you. You're sexy and you got a nice butt.
Yo. This will never be on the radio.
Cagno Radio. Start now.
Episode 51 of Cagno Radio begins now. Joe is my co-host. I am Cagno. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully everybody had a good Valentine's Day last week. Also, there's a dirty little secret that has to do with Valentine's Day that we will talk about in just a little bit. So I've been doing some studying lately. I'm working on a few new things in my life, and I realized that my ADD has a certain threshold that I can only stand for so long. So I decided to go to the library. When was the last time you've been to the library?
Just for recreation?
Yeah. Why, do you go there to pick up chicks?
Oh, no, sometimes I get, my job takes me there.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't been to the library just for fun. I would probably say my daughter's, 13 years old? Probably 10 years.
Because I had not been to the library in a long time either. That wasn't there to either get a movie or to get
use
a book.
Heroin in the bathroom.
Hang out with the hobos who hang out there when it gets too cold outside. No, I went there, though. And
Last time I was at the library was to surf porn on the computers.
On the public computers.
Computers.
Don't worry, though. I put on my sunglasses to make sure nobody could see me. What? I had a friend of mine who used to work at a library. He said that's the number one problem that they had was just dudes coming in there and straight up looking at porn.
Yeah.
In the library. Because I don't think, is it illegal to do that? I don't think it's illegal. I think it's just frowned down upon.
Yeah, I think the legalities would come into if there were children around that may see obscene.
Yeah, explicit images of people screwing themselves.
But if I walk by and see, you watching two girls in a cup, apparently there's nothing against that.
Well, that's the thing. That I don't understand how that's legal.
Yeah.
Nor do I understand what type of person is like, you know what? I need some porn in my life. I can't get it in the 300 other ways I can think of.
Right.
How about a public computer at a public library?
Right.
Anyway, so I go to the library, I sit down, and it was refreshing. Like, I want to say it was refreshing. It was dead quiet.
Did you shush anybody?
No, it was dead quiet. It was great for about 45 minutes. Until all of a sudden, there was this girl who was talking to her friend, and he was like, so anyways, yeah, did you end up going to that party or what? It was so cool. And she's like, oh my God, it's so funny. And they're talking about that loud and that annoyingly.
And you didn't give him a shush?
I'm wondering if I should have. Because because I was pissed. I actually got up and left the library.
I'd be like, this is a library, not Luna. You idiot.
Far out fun, Luna. Yeah, okay, so you agree that it's a common understanding that when you go to the library, you shut up.
Yeah. You zip your lips. I used to love when I went for like 2 semesters to Eastern Michigan.
Fire up Eagles.
And their library was beautiful.
Yeah.
And you could hear a mouse fart. I mean, you didn't hear anyone talking. It was so nice. And then I transferred and finished up at Oakland at OU. And their library was but you never said a word in those places.
See, that's funny because that's the way I always thought of libraries too. You just don't talk. Like, it's just you keep it down. You don't get on your phone or whatever.
You always had that old lady like, shh.
I know, but see, that's the thing. I wondered, should I have gone and gotten the librarian and been like, those people
No, you man up and you tell somebody to be quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done that. But yeah, I was pissed because honestly, it was refreshingly nice to be in a place where it was so quiet. Like, it was quiet. There was nobody yakking. There was nobody's cell phones going off. People weren't carrying on until all of a sudden they did. And it reminded me of when I was at Central because same thing. Central's library is gorgeous now. It wasn't when I went there, but it's gorgeous now. One of the things that most people didn't know was that the fraternities and sororities had, quote, mandatory study hours.
Okay.
So if you went to the library to, study, there may be a table of, low-level frat boys next to you who were forced to be there. And as you know, anybody forced to do anything wants to do it with their whole heart.
And complies with all rules and legalities.
Dude, those guys would dick around so much. And this is pre-cell phones, so I can't even imagine what people are doing now. And no one was paying attention. And the thing is, when there's 12 frat boys and there's you, yeah, man up and go tell them to shut up. But at the same time, when there's 12 dudes and there's you ain't walking over there to tell them to shut up. But they would just jerk around. And just imagine like the Logan Pauls of the world, but back in 1995, that's the kind of guys that they were.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't say anything back then, but yeah, I probably should have said something yesterday.
Yeah, you can always lean over and go, hey, guys. And like when they look at you like, what do you want? Go, have you ever tried talking without your teeth? And then be like, keep it up. I'm trying to do my taxes here.
Yeah.
I'm going out of my mind.
Yeah, it's funny because it's just, like I said, it was great to be in a place where people weren't talking.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I needed it so much. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm going to have to go there more often.
Maybe you need like a little Zen area here at the house.
The problem is at the house, though, is that I will find myself playing on my phone. I'll find myself on the computer. I'll find myself reading a magazine.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about magazines for a second, only because this hit me yesterday.
Literally a magazine. Hit me
No,
yesterday.
I was reading a magazine. I get like the This Old House magazine. I'm not even sure why it still shows up, but for some reason I get that in the mail. And I was looking at it yesterday, and I realized, like, why is it if I was sitting there playing on my phone while we were watching, like, let's say you and I were like going to watch a movie, and I was like, I'm going to sit here and play on my phone. You'd be like, hey, get off your phone, pay attention. But if I was reading a magazine, you wouldn't be so upset by it. Why is a magazine any different?
I don't know. It's the same thing at my work. If at work, if we're on the front desk and we're reading a newspaper,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Right.
If I'm looking at my phone,
Yes.
we get written up. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the same concept.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you're still getting your news from some source, but piece of paper that you've folded over, looking at the funnies that aren't funny at all.
No.
You end up not getting in trouble for. But yeah, you look at your phone, it's completely different.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the library, and if I see someone talking,
Like if your kids are like at the dinner table and they're on their phone, you like want to slap them upside the head and be like, "Get off your phone!" Russ.
I know.
Or I'll break it, and then they flip and they're like, "But Dad, I'm on my Bible app," and you're just like, "Okay, well, keep it up."
keep it up. The good Lord loves you. I feel like the Lord wants me to tell you to keep it up. At first, I felt like the Lord wanted me to tell you to stop doing that, but now the Lord wants me to tell you to keep it up.
But it all seems good now. It's cool.
We're good. Let me get a fist bump, sweetie. Daddy loves you.
No, just take 2 more bites of that chicken. You always have to tell your kids. You always have to tell your kids, no matter how old they
Yes.
get. They can be 17 years old. Dad, yeah, I'm going to meet, Bobby and Killer
Not
over
so
at the
fast.
mall. No. I want you to eat 2 more bites of the strawberries, 3 more bites of chicken, and get the rest of that milk down there. I don't want to be throwing away any of this milk.
Listen, we're wasting food. You know how I
You
feel
guys
about
waste that milk way too much.
You know how I feel about it. You know I don't like wasted food. That's one of my things. I know. There's a few things I have. One of them, don't like wasted food. I don't like it.
Cagno Radio.
I guess I like them like that.
So I'm happy to have Joe back today, mostly because he didn't die last week during a big-time procedure. We didn't talk about it on the podcast last week, but you have okayed that we can say, due to HIPAA laws, that you did go, in fact,
You know what?
in for a procedure.
I am going against all things HIPAA this week, and I am talking about my procedure.
Yes.
So last Friday, I had an upper GI and a colonoscopy.
Okay, now does the upper GI, is that the one where they put you to sleep?
Yes. They put you to sleep. I don't know which they did first or if they changed the camera, but I had an awful taste in my mouth when it was all done.
Hey-o.
Hey-o, ba-doom, ding.
Yeah. All right, so you had a tube stuck in your throat and
Yeah.
a tube stuck up your butt last week.
Yep. So I get in there and they tell me to change. And if those of you, like if you're around our age or whatever and you need to go, get your colon checked for colon cancer,
I don't mean to laugh.
do it. Because it's not an issue at all. Like everyone's embarrassed or like, is it going to hurt? You don't even know it's happening. Like it's super simple. Go have it done. Go see Dr. Lazarchek at the Michigan Gastro whatever in Troy on 15 Mile. So anyway, I go in. They tell me to, take off my clothes and put on my gown. So I do that. I get under the little bed, under like the little blanket.
You get under the bed. They're like, where's Joe? You're like, I'm
I'm like, here I am. I pop out.
Yeah.
And so So I get in the gown and I get under the covers, and then like the nurse comes in and she's chit-chatting with me, and then she puts the IV in my arm, for the stuff to knock me out, anesthesia. And so then the doctor comes in, Dr. Lazarchik, and he chit-chats with me for a little bit, and he's like, we're going in the back. So they wheel me in the back. Once we get in the back, it's Dr. Lazarchik, the anesthesiologist, and then 2 nurses.
Who makes like $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget. The highest paid person in that room is the anesthesiologist.
Yes. And so they get me back there, and they're like, roll over on your side. So at no point have I been exposed. At no point am I embarrassed. I roll over on my side. They have this super comfy pillow that like makes it so like you can have your arm up, all this stuff. Well, then they put this like mouth guard thing in your mouth, because when they put the scope down your throat so you don't bite down on it.
Did they say, shh,
no,
sweetie, shh?
No. So I get in there, and they my Dr. Lazarchik's like, hey, this guy is, a blah, blah, blah. It tells everybody else like what I do for a living.
A podcaster.
Yeah, a podcast.
Does he listen to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's like, hey, he's a blah, blah, blah. And so everyone, starts asking me questions about my job and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. And so I turn on my side, and they hit me with the anesthesia. And they're like, this will feel cold for a second.
In the vein. It does feel cold.
Vein. They're like, it'll be cold for a second, and you'll be out in about 30 seconds. So it's taken them 5 seconds to say this. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that is cold. And then the guy says, all right, hope you have good dreams.
Bitch.
Which my reply was, I hope not too good. I don't want to get a boner.
You did not say that.
I did, and then I went out.
Oh, no.
So my last joke
could have, if you would have died on the table, would have been like,
my last word would have been boner.
We would have put that on your tombstone. I hope I don't get a boner.
So
he died doing what he loves,
said,
getting
like,
something put in his butt, and we want to remember him for his last words. I hope I don't get a boner, and he didn't. He'll never again.
So I go under with that being the last thing. So I hope you have good dreams. And my reply was, I hope not too good. I don't want to get a boner.
Are you going to live? Or can you
I
not
have
say
so
it?
much stuff that's wrong with me. So my life's an open book. So I don't care about talking about anything.
Yeah.
So with the upper GI, so they go down the throat. So my entire esophagus has like burn marks on it from such horrible acid reflux.
And also from hot damn.
Right.
Hot damn. And also, Joe is the only person I know who likes the hottest hot sauce you can find, which is a whole nother problem.
Yeah,
I think they might be related.
Yeah, back in the day, I don't do that anymore.
Is this Satan semen? Is this Satan semen hot toss? I'll try it.
That's horrible. I would have tried it though. Nowadays, the hottest I go is like sriracha.
Okay, yeah.
And so anyway,
it's blazing.
So I
go with blazing butthole.
I have all these burn marks down my esophagus. Then when you get into my stomach, I have a hiatal hernia.
Okay.
Which is a hernia on your stomach, which your stomach protrudes into your diaphragm.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And if you're a doctor out there hearing this, I think I'm right from what I read. Email us and let us know if I'm wrong or correct me. But the hiatal hernia can make it seem and give you heart attack-like symptoms. So over the past 5 years, there's been times where I've felt like I'm having a heart attack. Like I'm sweating, my arms going numb. Like I feel like
This is the first I've heard of this.
Chest is like tight, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And it turns out that this hiatal hernia can mimic some of that and can do that to people. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I have that. What I thought was going to be wrong with me with my duodenum, which those of you that watch Family Guy, there's a pretty good duodenum bit on the Family Guy, but my duodenum was okay.
Good.
Then they went in through my butthole. Inside my butthole, they found internal hemorrhoids. Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah.
So I have internal hemorrhoids. I have an abundance of colon mucus. I didn't know you had mucus in your colon.
Some people are just extra juicy back there. You being one of them.
So they biopsied the mucus because I guess from that they could tell if I have colitis. Is that what it's called?
Colitis is a disease.
Yeah. So from that, if it comes back, my body either just generates a ton of colon mucus or I have colitis.
How do you feel about guys who have lots of mucus in their butthole?
And
I don't know why, but I feel like I should tell you that.
I think in certain social circles, I'd be called a gold star, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
and then I also have diverticulosis.
Is that different than diverticulitis?
Yes.
Does that mean you can't have seeds? Isn't that what Kwame had?
Right.
Kwame had that.
No, it's like I have like pockets, pockets and stuff in like the walls of my.
So what are you allowed to eat now? Then are you gluten free yet?
I think I can have water, ice, and steam,
and also snow.
So snow on occasion.
I'm just gonna go for some snow from now on.
So that I can't eat like greasy, spicy, fatty foods. Get my acid. Oh, and that's the other thing. I have like extremely bad acid reflux.
So what's the answer to this thing? Just get everything removed?
No.
Roto-Rooter? What are they going to do?
I think I have to stay away from fatty, spicy, greasy foods. I don't think I can eat seeds and nuts anymore.
Right.
And which really cuts down on the social life.
Hey-o!
and then they didn't say anything about carbonation. Back in the day, I had gastritis. And I was given the same thing, like no spicy, greasy, fatty, but also no carbonation.
Jeez,
but they didn't say that this time.
So you're going to have a big old glass of Mountain Dew and 6 beers to go with it.
Right. Hello. Right. So
they make non-carbonated beer, right?
Right. So that's been my last week is kind of dealing with this, and I'm waiting for like the biopsy stuff to come back. And
well, we hope that everything comes out okay.
Yeah,
for
me
you.
Me too.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are out there, that if you're scared to have any of this stuff happen,
don't be.
Colon cancer, I believe, I might be making this up, but colon cancer, I believe, is one of the most curable cancers. It's nothing. You go in, you're knocked out. They go in there.
I had a colonoscopy years ago, and I would say the worst part about it was the prep work, because you have to drink this stuff that basically flushes your system. By the time you're done going to the bathroom, there's black stuff coming out. You're like, you don't know that you can go anymore.
My word, we didn't talk about that either. I should have talked about that. The prep, they tell you to drink. You got to take at like 3:00 in the afternoon the day before your procedure. You have to take 4 Docalax stool softeners.
Yeah.
4 of them.
Yeah, and when we say softeners, we mean liquidizers.
Yeah.
And liquefiers.
And then 2 hours later, you're supposed to take 64 ounces of Gatorade of like as close to like you could do like yellow or
clear.
White. Yeah.
They don't want anything that's going to stain your duodenum.
Yeah, purple
or your
like
internal hemorrhoids.
Yeah. So you got to get 64 ounces of Gatorade and then one of the big bottles of Muralax laxative. So you mix the Muralax in with the Gatorade. So I didn't have a thing large enough. So I had to do 32 ounces and then 32 ounces. So my daughter dares me, Dad, I dare you to chug it all at once.
Did you throw up?
No. So I put down 32 ounces in one
gulp.
Well, like gulp.
Yeah.
You know,
well, yeah, not like one. Like,
not like the guy from the Man Show who used to drink those mugs of beer.
Hey! Then he just chuck it down.
Yeah,
that guy's dead. I heard.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So I did that, and so then I did the other one, 32 ounces, and that was 3 different, lifting, setting it down, lifting, setting it down, lifting. So I drink it all, so it's all in my system. So I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Hour goes by, nothing.
What?
2 hours goes by, nothing. Like 2 hours and 5 minutes goes by. Boom, it hits me. I run downstairs to our basement bathroom, because I didn't want to blow up the upstairs one where my girls had to use.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs. I'm undoing my pants to sit down, and I catch out of the corner of my eye, I don't have toilet paper.
Oh, no, but that's fine. You sit down.
No. I booked it. I rolled the dice. I booked it back upstairs, grabbed a roll, went back downstairs, and made it just in time. And I look like a fountain drink. Like the way that the Coke comes out on a fountain drink.
People are throwing up right now.
Good, as they should. It was like hot apple cider coming out fountain drink style of my butt. And I did this 11 times.
Yeah. But the thing is, I will tell you, as somebody who's had this procedure before, when you're done going to the bathroom, you feel 90 pounds lighter and better.
I
you feel good. You're like,
I looked
I
at
feel
myself
good.
in the mirror and I was like, my face looks thinner. I honestly thought that.
I honestly think I lost weight and I felt better. And then the next day after my colonoscopy, they're like, okay, go ahead and get cleaned up. And you love this sound effect, but there's so much air in your system that you...
The veins are bulging. You have like veins bulging.
Oh, dude, I
in your
could barely
forehead.
keep that going. Thanks for not cutting me off. But yeah, dude, we're glad that you're okay though.
Yep. So I'm okay.
Yeah. But anybody out there for real, like let this be a public service to anybody. Like, don't be afraid of the doctor.
No.
Like, don't be. If you've got something wacky going on, I had a friend of mine one time who had like diarrhea for like 6 years. Finally went in, they figured that there was something wrong with him. They fixed it, and now he feels better.
Yeah.
Like, just you're not supposed to live life like this.
Yeah, right. Because you're gonna have to deal with it. So would you rather deal with it when you have 3 months to live, or would you rather deal with it when they were like, hey, you have 3 months to live? Guess what? 3 years ago, when you could have went in and had your butt poked, a camera up your butt when you're put to sleep anyway. These could have been taken care of.
Yeah. Plus, you could find out about your good things like the internal hemorrhoids.
Internal hemorrhoids, and I have various pictures. They send you home with pictures of the inside of your colon and rectum.
Nice. Okay. Damn near killed him.